Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fin Factor. I'm Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
This is episode number 175. Aaron, you said something last game, something about last game. Not the last one, sorry. The first game of this week against Colorado. You had a specific phrase that you've used before, and I think it came to fruition. Why don't you let everybody know what that phrase was regarding the Colorado game?
It's what you call a scheduled loss. Scheduled loss, where the schedule of the NHL hates your team for some reason and gives you a back-to-back against a much better opponent. So
we just stunk.
That's very much what happened in that first game last week against Colorado.
Yeah, I'll say 6-0. Nothing. They just didn't have it. Now, granted, it's Colorado, so much better team, obviously. But really, there's only a few things that happen in games that are even worth talking about at this point. We know the Sharks are not a very good team. We know they're going to end up losing most of these games. So we're just going to pick out a few things that were of note in this game, in a game that the Colorado Avalanche absolutely dominated. Again, 6-0, nothing really to talk about. However, Karlsson throws his helmet and gets thrown out of the game. So kind of an interesting one there. He was really upset because it was a high sticking call, a non-call, I should say. Hits him in the lip. He's bleeding. Ref says nothing. Ref does nothing. I guess he says he just missed it. Whatever. Was that 4 minutes, right? 4-minute power play.
You draw blood, you get an extra 2.
Absolutely. So that doesn't happen. And he says he felt disrespected and grabs his helmet and throws it on the ice and then subsequently just walks off. Now, interestingly, this is the same referee, referee Gord Dwyer, that ejected Quinn, I think it was 2 games prior. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, no vendetta, right? Just coincidence?
Sure.
Oh.
Sure.
You did not say that confidently.
Well, even if it's, not on completely on purpose, human nature, you're going to remember stuff. It's going to be in your head. And, Dwyer's probably annoyed at the Sharks for, you got berated by David Quinn 2 games prior. He's probably sick of them. And then this happens where a player throws his helmet. I'm kind of shocked that Karlsson didn't get a call from the NHL office here about this. It's not like he didn't hit the referee, but he definitely threw it on the ice, kind of in his direction out of frustration. It was stupid. Shouldn't have done it. He was going off the ice anyway because he had to get repaired. He was bleeding. So regardless of getting kicked out of the game, he was going to the locker room. But yeah, he's angry. This is one penalty where linesmen can actually help in the call. So that means there are 4 sets of eyeballs on that play, and all 4 of them missed it. And Karlsson's bleeding by his face, just leaking out. So that I would be frustrated as well. You compound the fact that the Sharks are not good. You're a competitive person. You're frustrated when you're losing like you are, and we'll get into this a little bit. Everything kind of magnifies itself. And if you don't show any emotion, people think you just don't care and you're writing the season off. If you do show emotion, then you're kind of like, why are you trying so hard? It's kind of a weird fine line at this point in the season, right? You don't want to try too hard because then you're kind of you're a selfish player trying to do too much, whatever. But if you don't try hard enough, you're not really caring about the team. So Karlsson and this, it just blows up. Eventually it will blow up. And this is exactly what happened. And he threw his helmet. It was dumb. Shouldn't have done it. But he had a pretty valid point. Here's the leading scoring defenseman in the league by a wide margin. Takes a high stick to the face. Even if you don't see the actual stick hitting the face, you see him throw back and he's bleeding. Come on, man. Very disrespectful. I understand what Karlsson was saying.
Yeah, Peter St. John echoing that sentiment too. That Karlsson moment encapsulated how frustrated he is. Absolutely, as you said, top defensive point getter in the league right now, and playing for a team that is not quite up to par with his abilities. Right. Kind of makes you wonder, like, I know trading him would be very difficult to do for most teams with salary cap and whatnot, right? And I know the Sharks don't want to eat too much salary if they were to do that, right? But how much he would have liked to have maybe been moved. Now, I'm sure he'll end up getting moved if he's going to get moved. I'm sure it'll happen, during the draft or when there's time for teams to kind of open up that space and take on more of the contract than the Sharks would be willing to take on themselves, right? But I don't know. Do you think maybe as the trade deadline has passed and there's no chance now, no opportunity for him to move on to a team that's maybe kind of up to par with his abilities? Do you think he's a little grumpy about that?
No, I think he knows the situation he's in with his contract. He signed it, so he's no dummy. Um, it's the cap life. The Sharks probably they got calls. Supposedly Edmonton was in on him, but they wanted the Sharks to retain, I think, half the salary, and they said no. Thankfully,
Yeah.
that's a lot to retain. So I think if anything happens, it'll be this summer, and there will be either little or no salary retained. What's going to happen? Same thing with goalies. Is a team's going to get bounced in the playoffs. They're going to say, in Karlsson's case, we needed a puck moving defenseman. That was the X factor in our boot from the playoffs because our power play couldn't get going because we couldn't move the puck out of our own end. So they're going to try and hit a home run swing and try and go for Karlsson. Now, I've heard Edmonton is still interested into next season getting him, which would be bananas. Having Karlsson giving him those long stretch passes to McDavid. How many breakaway goals are we going to see McDavid get?
Oh, yeah.
Here if he's on that team. Detroit was another one that he was linked to because Detroit has a lot of cap space and they are looking to be very competitive and take that next step up because they're a young and upcoming team. So he is linked to some other people, some other places, but again, no movement clause. He'll have final say. We may never know. Maybe nothing gets leaked. How close something could get. But yeah, right now I feel like he's playing to finish out the season, stay healthy, because that's only going to drive his stock up. If he does want to get traded and go somewhere else, he has to show other teams that he can stay healthy and still perform at a very high level, regardless of where they are in the standings and how the rest of the team is performing. So he does still have incentive to play, and he wants to get that 100 points. I guarantee you he's pushing to get those 100.
Peter St. John saying Karlsson makes any team's offense go, regardless of whether it's 5-on-5 or power play. Absolutely. Imagine him. I mean, we'll talk about some of the stats with Erik Karlsson with the terrible Sharks team that he's playing with this season. Imagine him playing with the likes of a McDavid or something, right? So absolutely, he can turn any team into at least a much more deadly team, which is saying a lot because the Sharks are certainly not that. Imagine them without Karlsson. And again, we'll go into some of the stats. Anybody saying that Karlsson ain't worth the money, I just don't know what you're watching, but that's okay. Ben and Gunsry says even the refs are trying to get us Bedard, I guess, by not calling that. We don't get the advantage. We don't get a chance to score a goal is what he means. But how about if you guys try to get us maybe a few more subscribers and a few more likes? If you could do that, we'd appreciate it, guys. If you can, please hit that retweet button. Hit that share button. If you're enjoying the stream, please, as it says down below, give us a like. We do appreciate that. If you're not subscribed, I don't know why. So just hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. We don't do this all the time, so we don't fill up your inbox with a bunch of useless stuff. Just whenever we're going live or when we have a show, it's just to let you guys know that we're here and we'd like to chat with you. So please pop in there and let your friends know that we're here as well. Would love to chat with them. Aaron, any other comments in here that you see so far? I see Matt Lowe saying just to trust the process. We're almost there. I love that. You're right. We have how many games? Is it 16 games, 15 games?
15 games left.
15 games left. Yeah, left. Yes, Matt. We are almost there. there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Unfortunately, as Aaron would say, it's probably a freight train. But is what it is. Just
Marty
embrace the
McFly.
tank at this point. What
Here's
was
Marty
that?
McFly. What do you think the return would be for EK? I think I bet they're going to want something similar to what they got from Meyer. So was that a pick, a top prospect, or two, and what else? Probably some dump players to make it work.
I mean, I think you'll probably get a little bit less than you want, mainly because of the contract. But the funny thing is, again, Aaron, when we brought up the Athletics player cards, it showed him as a $13 million player. He's outperforming his contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, for everybody who says, his contract's too big, and I mean, it may be too big for teams to swallow, absolutely, but you can't say he's not worth it. I mean, he's certainly worth it. So, and especially on a team that's got, deadly weapons, like, say, for instance, Edmonton,
Mm-hmm.
McDavid, pairing him with a player like McDavid, I mean, exponential, the jump, I think, exponential. There's so much, room for growth, I think, even in the amount of points that McDavid's picking up, and certainly for Karlsson as well. He's on a career year right now, but for a guy who can put the puck in the net like him, and Draisaitl, we're not even talking about him. So yeah, it could be an amazing move, and quite frankly, $11.5 million well spent if they want to pick up that whole contract.
Yeah, I think I think to me, like everything I've been reading and listening to what Mike Grier is saying, I feel like he feels very comfortable with the defensive prospects in the pipeline now after getting so many. I think he's now going to be focusing on what it sounds like is a goalie. The Sharks don't really have that future stud goalie. So I think that's his next focus, because he's obviously going to be adding a top 5 offensive weapon forward in this draft. Goalies are going to be a lot harder to come by. So I wouldn't be surprised if and when they trade Karlsson, maybe that prospect is a goalie that's in the pipeline of another team that they like.
Very well could be. Katie Harshman says it's been a kind of depressing season, but I still think everyone is worth it. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the players that the Sharks had picked up, specifically those 1 year, 2 year contracts, I think those are all guys that they were thinking, hey, other teams are going to want these guys in terms of being worth their contracts. Guys that, other teams wanted. And we saw that. We saw a lot of players kind of get flipped. And yeah, I think they were playing up to their potential and their worth, quite frankly. So yeah, good observation there, Katie. Thank you so much. Aaron, we don't really need to talk too much about the games. I think we all know that the Sharks are not going to win these, and that the final scores were not favorable. So we'll just say that the Sharks lost to St. Louis by a score of 4-2, and then they also lost to Minnesota by a score of 5-2. But there was, again, something to call out, a special occurrence, if you will, in the Minnesota game. Erik Karlsson getting his 84th point of the season, Sharks franchise record for a defenseman, previously set by Brent Burns, who had 83 in 2018, 2019. And, there's still 15 games to go, as we said. So there's plenty of room to go higher. Now, we're going to ask maybe a little bit later on, maybe you guys get ready with your comments about maybe hitting 100 points, but he's got a ways to go here, and he's already broken the record. Now, in a post-game interview, he was asked if he was going to maybe poke fun a little bit at Brent Burns because he passed him up, and he said, "I don't think I think I'll poke any fun at him, but it is what it is." And typical Erik Karlsson answer, where it is what it is, and accolades, and I'll look back on it later, and that kind of thing, right? Aaron, is this something maybe he should be celebrating a little bit more? I mean, it's quite the achievement, especially on a team like this.
Absolutely. It's something that he should be happy. I think almost that he's happy that he could be playing a full season again, which he hasn't done in so long. So I think part of him like wanting to finish the season out is staying healthy and showing teams that he can be healthy. He's obviously in a mentally much better space than he was in the previous 3-4 seasons. I mean, most of it was mental. We've talked about this before a couple weeks ago. He went back to Sweden in the offseason, got to see his trainer that he had used growing up. So very familiar. his kids are settled. They finally found a place in San Jose, and they got, you get a routine going, especially with little kids like that. So they're finally in a good spot, and he was able to focus on himself and being mentally, physically prepared for the season, and it's obviously paid off in dividends. So now if he makes a trade, or if the Sharks trade him, right, he's going to have to kind of start over again. But it's different when you have very small children or newborns versus kids that are a little bit older, like even 4 or 5 years old is different moving than having a 1 or 2 year old. It's just hits different. So I think I think he's gonna go for it. I think he's gonna get over that 100-point hump, if you will, and he's gonna be a very happy individual, getting yet probably another Norris trophy in his trophy shelf. We'll talk about that later too.
Well, before we continue on with Erik Karlsson, Nick HBK 150 says, "Hey, Aaron, we have the reigning defending national champion Magnus Krona." Talking about goaltenders, obviously here. So, I mean, they do have that in the pipeline. How are you feeling about Magnus?
I don't know yet. He's an interesting prospect. Now, goalies are really hard to read. Yes, I'm glad he's in the system. I'm glad they have somebody like that, but I still don't know if he's going to be the answer. He wouldn't be. What I'm looking for is, or what we should be looking for, is the next Nabokov, right? The next one who's going to be for the Sharks, that is going to start 50 plus games in the season. 60's pushing a little bit, but if you get someone that's there that's not a 1A, 1B, and he's your legit starter and he's top 5 in the league, I don't think Magnus is that. I think, to me, Magnus could probably make it to the NHL, but maybe he's more like kind of almost like a James Reimer at most. I don't know.
Solid journeyman.
He's not very highly touted. Yes, he won a national championship, but that also plays in part of who was on his team defensively and who they were playing against. Yeah, they played against Michigan, who was, stacked, but there's just a lot to take into account. And development of goalies, you don't really see goalies come into the NHL at 21, 22. It's very rare. Carter Hart was one. Spencer Knight, who plays for Florida, is another who actually, not to be a Debbie Downer, but he went into the substance abuse program for the NHL. So he's kind of out. So yeah, it's goaltending in the NHL is very much a mental thing. Look at Robin Lehner. He'll tell you the first thing about it is mental, and he's had to take some breaks for it. So it's very, very difficult to position to do. So yeah, I just, going back to Magnus, I don't know. I think he has the best name in goaltending. Magnus Krona. Who wouldn't want Magnus Krona starting for their team? It's freaking awesome. Sounds like a Viking.
It really does, actually. Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, I didn't mean to jump off of the Erik Karlsson train, but seeing as how we were talking about goalies, and he had that great comment there. Thank you for that, Nick. Okay, so you guys know what that means. Erik Karlsson, as we said, scored 84th point. So we have our little graphic here. So super producer Jason, go ahead.
Fire in the hole!
Pretty sure we've heard that one, so we'll see. Oh man, I love it. Okay, so for the week, 3 games played, 1 goal, 1 assist. If you care about the plus minus, he was a -5, but the whole team stunk it up. Let's get real. 14 penalty minutes. How much of that was the helmet thrown?
12.
Okay,
right,
then. So really, he only took 1 penalty. Really. Okay. So let's get real. No big deal. 10 shots on goal. Go ahead, Aaron.
He's got 28 28 penalty minutes on the season. So that was almost half from that one game.
Yeah. So, okay. No big deal. So last episode, I think it was, I had posed the question, hey, Aaron, why are we still watching the Sharks? Because they're just really bad, and we know they're going to be bad, and that's okay. But why are we still watching? We came up with some reasons, right? This would be one of them. The road to 100 points. You've got some interesting facts here. Go ahead.
I do. The last defenseman to score 100 points in a season was Brian Leetch, and that was in 91-92, which is the season that the Sharks started in the NHL. So it's been a very, very long time since anyone has broken it. It's funny. There was a news article on NHL.com back when, I don't know if you remember this name, but Mike Green, who used to play for Washington.
Oh yeah.
He had 73 points in 68 games that year. This was in 2009. So people started talking about it. This is already over 10 years ago. Talking about Mike Green possibly being the one. And so they asked Brian Leetch. He congratulated Mike Green, and he said it'll take a forward tallying 150 to 160 points before a defenseman can reach 100 again. Who is getting about 150 points as a forward?
Okay, but wait, did he mean playing alongside that defenseman? Because that would make sense.
Maybe, but that
Not on
also means
different teams.
scoring. I think he meant scoring was up, across the league.
Okay.
Because I mean, back then scoring was up a little bit, but not compared to 91, 92, where people were just everyone was getting hat tricks then. So yeah, I pulled some stats. I'm like, okay, Brian Leetch had 102 total points on that season, the last season that anyone had over 100 as a defenseman. The New York Rangers scored 321 total goals. He scored 31, so he was in on 31.78% of those goals. That's a lot. Almost a third.
Yeah.
Almost every other third goal, he had at least an assist on it. This is how absurd Erik Karlsson is. The Sharks have scored 192 goals this season so far. He has 83 points on those. 43.23%. He has touched the puck on almost half of the Sharks' goals. That is absurd. Absolutely absurd. So is that... that kind of speaks to how bad the Sharks are, but also how good Karlsson is, because he's pulling everyone up off the ice, helping them get better. I think he still leads the league in even strength points. Like, not just defensemen, the league. So He makes everything go. The Sharks trade him. I'm not convinced the Sharks should trade Erik Karlsson. I wouldn't mind for his sake, so that he can go to a competitor and win a cup, because I don't think the Sharks are going to win a cup in the seasons that he has left here. But my Lord, man, he makes the Sharks go. As little as they're going now, it's going to be a lot worse without Erik Karlsson.
No, 100%. I could definitely see him sticking around next season, and if we have those younger guns starting to come up, and then we already see Eklund getting some time, right? What happens if we get a really high draft pick, perhaps a Bedard? What if any of those guys are moving their way out of the AHL and into the NHL? Wouldn't it be nice to really get some really good experience playing alongside a guy like Erik Karlsson, getting some really good opportunities to score? Just gaining confidence, a big building block year for them. I think it'd be so great to have. And then, if they're still, in tank mode for next season, then maybe you could look at getting rid of him as that season progresses. But man, that would be really, really nice for the guys that are coming up to be able to play with him.
If the Sharks tank, well, they are tanking this season, but if they tank next season, I think next season's draft is more defenseman heavy. Imagine getting a stud top 5 pick again next year that's a defenseman.
Yeah.
That would be bananas. The Sharks would turn this around pretty quick, I would imagine. I don't know for certain, but the road would look much, much brighter.
100%. We're going to close this out in just a second, but before we do, I'm going to pose the roll call question, give you guys a little bit of extra time to type this out, where you're watching from, of course. And then does Erik Karlsson get to 100 points? And I'll read some comments after we get back from this.
We just stunk.
Yes. We haven't heard that one yet. Oh, that was fantastic.
It kind of sounds like a pirate.
Thank you so much.
Man,
Okay.
people on the podcast have no idea what you're laughing at. No idea.
Oh my God. Okay, I gotta get it together here. Hold on. Okay. On the question of will he get to 100 points, a while back we had some comments. Kellen Foster asking if he'll get the Norris. And Peter St. John responding, I can't imagine him not getting it. What do you think? I think 100 points is probable, highly probable, but will he get 30 goals? Aaron, what do you think about that? Do you think he's going to reach the 30 goal plateau?
I don't think so. That's 10 more goals in 15 games. That's a bit much.
I agree with you on that one. Do you think he hits 25 maybe?
Yeah, that's I would say the ceiling would be about 5 more goals. Yeah, 25.
Okay.
Still very good.
Kellen wondering who else touches his coattails. He says he just does it all. So yeah, I mean, again, he's outperforming his contract, and he's paid $11.5 million a year. So
he's already. I didn't realize this. I just looked, but he set his career high already. His career high was 82 points.
Yeah,
so he's already beaten that. I knew he beat the Sharks record. I didn't realize that was his record too. That's fantastic. With room to spare.
Absolutely. It seems like actually a lot of people are saying yes, he's going to hit 100 here. If I go through some of these,
if you think about it, man, that's 20. Was it 16 more points in 15 games? Very doable. But if they keep getting blown out 6-0 like they did against Colorado, obviously it's not going to happen.
No, oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you got these other losses that are 2 goals. Another game with 2 goals, right? So if he's in on just about half, which by the way, that I think in your stat you had 83 points and 192 goals. That wasn't including that last game where he got the 84th point. And simple math here, 1 divided by 2 is 50%. So even then, in that last game, 50% higher than the 43. So that actually brings the average up a little bit from what you had there. But I mean, if you're talking about a point per game to reach the 100 point plateau, and he's well above that right now. He's well over a point per game.
He was over a point per game. Doesn't mean he will be over a point per game for the last 50. He might not be. He could go into a slump. The Sharks themselves can go into a slump.
While I agree, I think the Sharks are I mean, okay, so let's get the truth is Timo Meier's not here anymore, right? So that's a big part of it. You can be the best defenseman, but you still need other people to finish if you're going to get assists.
Exactly.
If he passed the puck to Noah Gregor, he doesn't have any points on the season.
What if Noah Gregor's on the top power play? Forget it.
Forget it, dude. Yeah. So I mean, I think he gets there. It seems like a lot of people here are saying he gets to 100. Although we got one little naysayer here. Hold on a second. Who's this? Marty McFly checking in from Bible study. Well, hey, thank you so much. Appreciate that. He says EK gets just under 100. Oh man, I don't know. You think it's one of those ones where he gets to 98, 99, and that's it?
That would be awful if he got to 99 points.
Ben and Gunzer making a nice observation there. He says he's due for a 4.9. Haven't seen one of those in a while. But we've only had those when Timo was here. That's my point.
Well, the Sharks will get some more wins on the season. I don't think they're going to go 0-15.
Oh, let's hope not.
I mean, it would be wonderful if they did, because who cares? But they're going to have some wins in there, which means they're going to have some goals. So
yeah. Well, no, it could be 0-0 and then shootout. Who knows? Which would be terrible because I don't want to get points.
The Sharks can't shut anyone out. Come on.
What's that?
The Sharks can't shut anyone out. Come on.
Hey man, Reimer is a beast. I don't want to hear it. They should have traded him. And some team, you watch. You said it before. That some team's going to overcompensate and want to trade for Erik Karlsson because they didn't have a strong puck-moving defenseman. Some team's going to lose out, and it's because they didn't have James Reimer as their backup, as their number 2 solid team play. Lundy coming in with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Lundy. Appreciate you supporting the show, buddy. Braun could have made 100 points. I don't think so. Are we talking about in one season, or are we talking about like 4 or 5 seasons? What do we? What's
I think
the number we're talking about?
Career 100 points.
Career, maybe $1.99 for 199 games. I think that's still. I don't think he makes it. But
Peter, I'm looking this up. Since he gave us super chat, I'm going to look up how many career points does Justin Braun have.
There you go. While he's doing that, I'm going to say Peter St. John here says Noah will go off and help EK get his points. Noah might pass it to him, and he can go in coast to coast. I don't know.
How many points?
The numbers here, Aaron?
How many points do you think Justin Braun has in his career
in total?
In total.
Okay, how many games played?
835 games played.
I'm going to say he's got 184.
Wow.
What?
199.
Oh, let's go.
1 point away from 200.
Okay.
That's a
I don't think
milestone.
he's doing that in the season, bud. That's an average of what, like 19 points, 20 points a season? It's not quite Erik Karlsson level. I'm so sorry. But I do appreciate you supporting the show. Lundy's probably our biggest supporter when it comes to Super Chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much
Long
for that.
time. Long time fan from Minnesota.
I'm from Minnesota. Peter St. John says 75. I don't know what that means, Peter St. John. You think he's only going to... Well, no, he has more than 75. I'm not sure what 75 means. I don't know.
How
great is the Hunter call going to be if EK gets 100 points?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm sure he's been practicing already. He hones in on that craft, man. He is fantastic. And if you have not watched that episode where we interviewed him back in December, you should go check it out. It's a really good interview.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. You got Aaron chattering his teeth because it was cold. But definitely give that one a look.
Was it like 42 that night or even less? Was it under 40 degrees with the door open? Oh.
Let's see here. We've got a Corey. Wait. No, you have a fun fact we want to get to first.
All right.
2 players you said. Go ahead.
There are 2 players on the Sharks roster right now that have not missed a game. Do you know who they are, Paul?
I probably don't. I'm going to guess Erik Karlsson's one of them.
That's one.
Wow. See, that's amazing. I'm going to stop right there for a second. That's amazing to me because of we've talked ad nauseum. How many times has he gone through a season where he only had like, less than 60 games, right? I mean, or maybe 60 games.
The most he's played for the Sharks is 56. And he's at 67 already.
See, man, and good for him because again, people are they're gonna note about his age and say, oh, he's past his prime, et cetera, et cetera. And here he is, obviously the oldest he's ever been, and he's scoring at a rate that he's never scored at before. That is franchise record setting for the Sharks.
You know what's crazy? In his first season as a Shark, 53 games he played. He took 169 shots on goal. This season, he's taken 174 with, 14 more games? He took so many shots that first season, and he only had 3 goals. 3. That's Noah Gregor stats right there. 3 goals on 169 shots. He was shooting 1.78%. That's awful.
It's a blue liner.
Awful. He's shooting at 11.5% right now. His career average is 6.8. And he shot at 1.78. Yeah. He's got a good shot, man. He gets open in that slot on the power plays and stuff, and he rips them in the corners.
Peter, I don't know if you're trolling me or if you cheated and looked this up. I don't know if it's right or not. He says the other one is Benning.
He's close.
He's close. It's not Benning.
Benning has missed 1 game.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Like
he missed
Benning,
2.
Of course he's not going to miss a game.
Benning missed 2.
Oh, missed 2. All right. He only missed 2 games. Still, that's pretty good.
All right. I'll give you one more guess, and then I'll tell you.
That he gave my kids.
One more guess, and I'll tell you.
I have to get. Can I at least say, is it a forward?
Sure. Yeah.
It is a forward? It's not Couture. Is it Couture?
El Capitan.
No way.
El Capitan, and I don't know how you say alternate Capitan in Spanish. All right. Next up. Last one here. Next up, who's missed 1 game the whole season?
No idea.
Marc-Edouard Vlasic.
Good for him. See, and again, for me, and you just named off a bunch of guys who are, getting pretty long in the tooth, right? Again, for me, good for them.
Also,
why you give me that look? Why you give me that look?
It's also the 3 highest paid players on the team.
It's an interesting note, but still, I think that bodes well for other teams looking at the old guys and having any sort of leverage and saying, "Oh, you know what? They're more injury prone." No, man, these guys have been in there playing their hearts out and staying in the lineup and not missing games. So good on them. Absolutely. Maybe they've taken some notes from Patrick Marleau. That guy never missed a game.
He took care of himself. Rarely. Same with Burns. Same with Joe Thornton. They were around those guys. They got to see exactly what they had to do to keep those older bodies going because it takes a lot.
I don't know what Kellen's talking about. He says, so what you're saying is Gregor has a chance. If you're talking about scoring points,
scoring
I don't
goals.
think so. I do not think so. Corey Massasak had a tweet regarding points in the last month. Why don't you go ahead and explain this one?
Sure, I don't have a graphic for this, but he posted up basically the bottom of the league from February 13th, and then posted again what it looked like on March 13th. So 1 month later, the Sharks only gained 5 points in 1 month in those days. 5 points. Everyone else, I'm going to run through this list real quick. Blue Jackets 11, Chicago 13, Anaheim 14, Arizona 17, Montreal 11. Sharks got less than half of the next team. So the tank is on. It's crazy. It's crazy because I feel like compared to those other teams, the Sharks actually have a better roster than those teams, don't they?
I mean, before they traded Timo, they certainly did. But yeah, to only gain 5 points for what we're looking for, at least. Oh, there you go. There's the tweet.
That's just brutal. Like it's mind-boggling to me that they are this bad. I mean, I'm happy. I want them to be bad. But it's weird when you actually look at the stats, you're like, holy cow, they're really just awful. I don't know.
Well, again, what we're looking for out of this season, that is working for me. Okay. There have been some games where it's still been entertaining to watch. But you know, we're getting closer and closer to where we need to be at the very bottom of the standings. I'm shocked, honestly, that Columbus gained 11 points.
Columbus, I think they have Johnny Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey. They have a good young core. They were devastated with injuries to start the season that just kind of derailed them. So I think that is what, like, that roster is a decent roster. It should be better than it is. Here's a good one from Cody Campbell, watching from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Welcome, my friend. I hope he gets 100 points, but let's all pray he doesn't score tomorrow against Columbus. No, I want him to score. I want the Sharks to lose 5-4 with Karlsson getting 4 points. I want it to be entertaining. I don't want 6-0 losses. I want it to be entertaining, have it be close, have the Sharks just not have enough to get there and then lose and get the full 0 points in the standings. That's what I want.
We just stunk.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Ben and Gunther and Martin McFly. They're both saying we just stunk. Super producer Jason all over that. Thank you so much for way to go, super producer Jason. Hey, Rick Roma, Devils fan here. We remember Rick from back when we had the Timo trade episode there. Shakir is apparently on his way to SJ. Is he going to play in the AHL first? I don't know what the plans are for him.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything yet, so I don't know. But I was happy to hear that his team was defeated in the KHL playoffs because I wanted him to come over sooner than later. So yeah, I'll be exciting to see what he can do. And I don't know. What would you want to do? Would you want to put him right into the NHL to see how he does? Or do you want to put him in the AHL to kind of get accustomed to the area, I guess, if you will?
Well, I mean, according to Mike Greer, what he was saying, and Rick, if you're unfamiliar, Greer is the GM for the Sharks. What he was saying was he just wants those guys. There was a couple other ones that he had named off too, that he wants them to come over to San Jose, even if they don't play, just to kind of get acclimated to the area, to get to know the team, to get to know, the training facility and all things, everything that the Sharks facility has to offer, all that stuff. He wants them to be there for that purpose. Now, whether or not they'll actually play, that still is kind of up in the air. They haven't really made a decision on that as far as we know. But we're not like insiders or anything either. So I'm sure there's information that, other guys have found out that they haven't put out yet that we just aren't privy to. So, I mean, I would love to see him play. I think maybe starting off in the AHL would be a better idea just because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the KHL does use the international ice, which is wider. So getting acclimated to the North American ice surface first would probably be better. But then, if he's dominating and he's showing that it's not a problem, absolutely. Why not bring him up? Have him come and play. Certainly can't do much worse than the Sharks have been doing right now anyway. And gosh, you know what? If he does do worse than the current Sharks defensive roster, then it kind of helps us get closer to Bedard. So it's a win-win situation. I don't know. I would like to see him play. If that means at the AHL level, great. I just want him to suit up. I don't really care where. I'd like to see these guys and what they can do.
That's, to me, I would put him the Barracuda level because they need the help right now. Barracuda needs the help more than the Sharks need the help. Get him accustomed to the rink size. Get him accustomed to just being in the United States. I think that would be the way to go for me. I think that would be a big boost to the Barracuda.
Yeah, and Peter St. John saying that too. Awesome. Maybe he can help lift the CUDA. Now, again, the CUDA are they're fighting for a playoff spot as far as I know right now. Last I checked on them. So if he can get them a little bit closer to making that, again, Greer wants that. He wants that experience for these guys. The ability to go out there and play for a Calder Cup to try to get that establish that winning culture, especially with them being first year in Tech CU Arena, brand new arena that was built specifically for them. Gosh, how great would that be in that inaugural year in that arena to be able to bring home a Calder Cup? I think that would be so awesome. And any opportunity that they have to do that for that AHL team, I think they take it. Any opportunity they have to win for the Sharks, I don't think they're super interested in right now, especially not the GM, maybe the coaches and the players. But I think it'd be great to bring them on to the Barracuda and just kind of cut them loose and let them go. So, hey, thank you so much for your comment there, Rick, and welcome back. We know that you're not going to be here all the time, but we do appreciate you popping in, and thanks for your observation there and your question.
Probably coming to check in on his on the prospects that are around San Jose now.
Let's see here. Entertaining until overtime. Seen too many overtime shootouts given up this season. I know it. Mike. It's why Mike saying that he's kind of sick and tired of overtime. I know Aaron just wants to settle for the tie. He don't like the shootout anymore.
Yeah, the shootout's just bunk. But I think they should also change the stand or the point system. 3 points for a regulation win, 2 points for an overtime or shootout if you're going to keep the shootout win, and then 1 point for the shootout or overtime loss. That way there's 3 points on the table at all times. Nothing more, nothing less. Boom. Makes sense.
Ben and Gunsry is after our hearts. He says it's been horrible for the past few seasons. On the bright side, we have the Finn factor for the cure. Aw. Hey, man, Valentine's Day is over, but do appreciate your comment there. Thanks for the love. Do appreciate you. One more comment here from Rick. He says, I really like Shakir and I can't wait to see him play. Hope he does well. Yeah, hey, we hope he does well too. I mean, that's the whole point, right? We're giving up Timo Meyer. We want to get something in return that's really going to help this team, help turn him around. If Shakir's that guy, I guess thank you, right? So, and you're welcome for Timo because he's going to do really well for you guys as well. How is Timo doing? Peter St. John wants to know. Rick, maybe you can respond to that in the chat there and let Peter know how Timo's doing for your New Jersey Devils. So there you go. Aaron, we've got current standings update. We are second to last, which of course means that we have a minimum of a top 4 pick. And we looked at those with, what's his name? Graham Slam, right? What was his YouTube channel again? Now I can't remember.
Graham.
Just Graham.
Graham. That was Graham Slam.
I'm putting you on the spot here. I apologize. But we talked with him, and he certainly put us on to some of the prospects that we might be looking at. Obviously, anybody who's drafting first is probably going after Bedard, but then Fantilli and a slew of other guys that he had said in that kind of top 5, top 4. So if we're picking in the top 4, we're getting a very, very good player. And by all accounts, if Connor Bedard was not there, the next 3 guys in line probably would be fighting for that first overall. So they're all very, very, very good players. You're going to be happy with whoever they end up with. Just kind of Connor Bedard is just on that next tier above and beyond pretty much everybody else. So, Aaron, anything you wanted to say about the standings here?
Oh, I'm just excited because there's a big game tomorrow against Columbus. Columbus is 3 points behind the Sharks in the standings. So if Columbus can beat the Sharks in regulation tomorrow, that is only a 1 point difference. That's why it's a big deal and why we're saying we wanted to see the Sharks lose tomorrow in regulation because that just gets them that much closer to the first overall pick. The best chances for the first overall pick with the lottery.
Why Mike says the Shark is hitting rock bottom. Once we're there, there's nothing else to drag us down. Only direction is up next season, right? Well, it depends. If we finish second from the bottom, no, we can go down one more. I think That really, Mike, the thing is, we don't want to get pulled back up into like the 17th position. That would be bad, right? We want to either make playoffs or be really bad. That's kind of where we want to be. I don't even care if we're the last wild card. When you make it to the dance, you got a chance. We've said that several times on this show. So I'd be more than happy just to make playoffs. That would be fine with me. Obviously not happening this season, or probably not even next. But that is the end goal. And so if we're going to come up, we want to come pretty far up. That's the idea. Anyway, so yeah, like you said, they're 3 points. You say behind, I say ahead, because we're looking at it from the other. This is like golf for me right now. I don't think you understand that, guys. So yeah, I like to be as close to the bottom and really at the bottom. So if we can beat out CBJ by losing to them, then more power to us. So there you go.
Yeah, Columbus also has 2 games in hand on the Sharks. So
not only do they have 2 games in hand, Aaron, but as you pointed out in that last month, that span, they got more than double the amount of points that the Sharks did. So post trade deadline, the Sharks seem to be a much worse off team. So I mean, again, in terms of getting to that Connor Bedard sweepstakes, I think we're in a pretty good position right now. But we'll see how that ends up. It's really weird, and I've said this too. It's really weird rooting for the team to lose. It's not something I'm used to. It's not something I like doing, but I'm just embracing it right now, guys. Like it's just a big giant hug, right? I'm just embracing it. So
it is odd. It's really weird, but this is for the long-term health of the Sharks, not just to fix it for next season or to be a bubble team this year. The Sharks' luck, they're just not going to get the lottery. They're going to be the worst place team and then get 3rd overall. So I am keeping my hopes very low that we're going to get Connor Bedard. I want to just not be like, let's say the Sharks do get first, or not first overall pick, but the worst in the standings going into the lottery. They're just not going to get it. So it'll go like to the 3rd place team or something. So I don't know. I'm trying to keep my hopes low so that I can be super excited when they do get the first overall pick. If they get the first overall pick.
Very good. All right. Anything in the comments you want to pick out, or should we just start talking about the upcoming games here?
Going back to Rick real quick. He just answered your question about how Timo is doing. He said, Meyer is still looking for chemistry with Hughes and Bratt, but he's exactly what the Devils needed. Love him. I hope the trade works out for both. That's exactly what we want to hear. Love having you on our channel, Rick. It's awesome.
No, I mean, and that's the truth of it too. Again, we've had lots of folks from different teams, be it from playoffs and they come in telling us that we suck or whatever. And then also with, trades and stuff, we got other teams coming in that are friends of other teams coming in that, they want to talk about it. So it's great having you here. And again, thank you so much. Rick also wants to know why Greer doesn't use the word rebuild. Aaron, do you want to take that one?
To me, like, it's just such a hot word. It's like a buzzword by the media. It doesn't matter. It's a rebuild. It is what it is. I think rebuild for him would be probably just blowing up the roster completely, doing a fire sale. And that's not what he's really doing. What he's doing is slowly changing out some of the pieces in both the prospect pool and the NHL level and everything, and doing it slowly, kind of a slow, I guess, rebuild. It's not really a retool either. It's kind of in between the two. So you're building a new culture. You have a whole new staff in there. Everything is so different. You have player development, which they never had before. You got, it's a slow change instead of everything at once. If it was everything at once, I think we've seen teams do that. Look at how long did it take for Edmonton, even after they drafted McDavid, how long did it take them to make the playoffs? It took a long time. That was a full-on rebuild. How long did it take? New Jersey and New York Rangers are a little bit different because New Jersey actually took a while too. I think almost a decade. But the Rangers were quicker because they got Panarin signed in the offseason. They weren't expecting that. This is when David Quinn was coaching. They got this gift wrapped to them and placed on their doorstep of Panarin, who it would be like adding a Karlsson as a forward, right? Like, meaning like it was such an impactful player joining the team that wasn't quite ready to make that step yet, but that pushed them forward by at least another year or two quicker than they were ready to do it. So yeah, I don't see it as a rebuild. I don't see it as like Buffalo rebuilding forever. and even trading away Jack Eichel, the number one piece that they were building the rebuild around and then got rid of. So that would be a full-on rebuild, and I don't think this is it. Granted, it has been 4 seasons now that the Sharks have missed playoffs.
Well, because we weren't rebuilding in those seasons with Doug Wilson.
True.
We were retooling.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth of it. And again, I use the word retool, and Kellen says it's not a rebuild, it's reduce, reuse, recycle. Not a rebuild. Yes, we have a lot of rewords in there. Raider Bob Ellis says pull the Band-Aid and stop the pain. I think that's what they're doing, but they're pulling the Band-Aid like 2 times. It's 1-2. I think this season they've got the 1 down. You know, we've got quite a bit that went out the door. I think next season you're going to see quite a bit more. Especially at the trade deadline. I'm not trade deadline, at the draft. I think you're going to see a couple bigger moves just because teams are going to have the cap space to work with. So I think that's a good opportunity for some of these bigger contracts for these guys that maybe have no move clauses but don't really mind waiving them. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. So we'll see. Aaron, do we want to go about the upcoming games then?
Sure. Well, we just talked about Columbus, and then Thursday we got Seattle. We're playing at home against Seattle. Saturday's at home against New York, and we'll get into that in a minute because I will be going to this game, as will super producer Jason. And Paul, I think you are out. I think you're out of town this weekend. Or you're doing something. But and then followed up by Monday in Edmonton at 6:30. I'm putting Monday on there because we will be doing a show that night after the game. So we will be live after Sharks game next Monday.
Yes, Saturday is Saturday the 18th. That's the game against the Islanders, correct?
Correct.
I will actually be not out of town. I'll be in town. I will be in San Jose. I will be at TechCU Arena.
Oh, right.
Watching the Barracuda.
Right. That's what you're doing.
So
I knew you couldn't go to the game.
I'm going to be watching hockey, but we're going to be okay. So whether or not you're going to the Barracuda game or you're going to the Sharks game, I'm sure you'll see one of the Fin Factor guys here. So if you do see us, pop over, say hi. We like popcorn. That's
Take a look, look for our hats. I always wear my hat to the game. I think you do.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That's good.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay. Columbus is really the only one here that we have danger of winning, correct?
Yeah, if you want. The Islanders have been pretty garbage too.
Who?
The Islanders have been pretty bad.
Oh, you know, and here's the other thing about the Islanders. We have an old Sharks legend coming back from he went to the New York Islanders, and this is maybe not the first time, but he'll certainly be revisiting the tank here. Kevin Kurz. You guys remember Kurzy?
We just stunk.
Kurz was a good dude. Come on, super producer Jason. I know a lot of people did not like Kevin Kurz that much. He was very honest in his review of the Sharks, and people didn't like that. They wanted to be lied to. But I mean, you look at it now, and yeah, he was pretty much bang on about all the stuff he was saying about the team. But yeah, he will be returning to the tank. Maybe we'll get a chance to say hello to him at the game there, Aaron. Huh?
Yeah, if we see him, yeah,
I'll
say hi.
Shoot him a message or something with it.
Yeah, the Islanders are fighting for a playoff spot, so that'll be a dangerous game for the Sharks. The Sharks should probably lose that one, now that I think about it.
Yeah. I was going to say, you can't say that they're garbage because we're second from last and we're playing the last place team on Tuesday. So any other team is better.
I'll still say they're garbage.
Noah Claxton thought I was talking about Antti Suomela. No. I don't even know. Where is Antti Suomela now?
He's not in the NHL
anymore. Wait. Wasn't he was MVP of the SHL, wasn't he? Or am I thinking of another guy?
I think he was.
I'm pretty sure he was named MVP of the SHL.
Really?
But the poor guy just can't cut it in the NHL or even the AHL for that matter. Yeah. It just goes to show you the difference in skill level. People want to talk about how, he did so well in this league. He was blowing everybody away. Yeah, but it's not quite the same, guys. It's not quite the same. Kellen says he loves the cheese and curse. Nice. I see what you did there. Good stuff. Noah Claxton says Paul's scouting the future. I don't even know what that means. What was I saying that I was scouting the future,
Aaron? Because you're going to the Barracuda game.
Oh, yes. I am scouting the future. There you go.
Right.
That's what I'm doing.
So Antti Suomela, this was from today, actually.
Really?
This is published today. He is joining, I can't pronounce this, de Jews in Lausanne. He's going to Switzerland. He's going to Switzerland from Sweden. So he's just...
Oh, I can't lie. It was, a lot last, month. And
dude, I knew it. I knew he was going to do that.
He led the SHL in goals and points. You were correct. So I'm assuming you won the MVP. Did you see the news on Sasha Shemlevsky?
No, what about him?
He re-signed in the KHL next season. So he will not be coming back. He was
playing with Shakir. His team was the one that got eliminated, right?
Yeah, and I think some people were speculating that he would come over here and play with them again, but no, he is still a restricted free agent. The Sharks retain his rights while he's playing overseas for the next year. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, those are the games that are coming up. But we have a game that happened. It's not a Sharks game per se. And in a way, it kind of is actually. But we do have a little bit of video here. There was a Pride scrimmage tonight. Aaron, you've got some information about this. Go ahead and let the people know.
Yeah, super producer Jason was at this game. It was the San Francisco Earthquakes, which is very confusing, not to be confused with the San Jose Earthquakes soccer team. San Francisco Earthquakes hockey team versus Team Teal, which is the San Jose Sharks front office. They played 3 periods, 17 minutes each with a running clock. And the San Francisco Earthquakes are the LGBTQ adult hockey team. And they were coached tonight by David Quinn. Check it out.
Crazy.
Imagine having an NHL bench boss behind your beer league team. Would that be nuts?
Unreal.
How much smack do you think he was talking to them?
I just want to know if he got ejected.
In a good way, I meant. Not talking smack like he hates him, but like just kind of chirping and having fun out there. It looked like he was having fun. He was a big old smile on his face, which you never see behind the bench.
I would think he'd be chirping the what do you call it? The Team Teal. Right, the front office. He sees.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sure he did. The final score: Team Teal won 8-4. The members of the Silicon Valley Pride came to cheer on both teams, and we have a video package from Silicon Valley Pride or super producer Jason. Sorry, who went tonight? He took this video. Sorry, I thought this was from Pride. Go ahead and roll it, Jay. I can't believe he put that video together tonight. He was there tonight before the show was filmed. Amazing.
It was like 30 minutes before we rolled the show. he like came online and like crazy fast editing skills. Thank you, super producer Jason, for that. By the way, that is about my speed for Beer League. That's actually maybe a little bit faster. So,
oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bud. The time we spent on the treadmill, that did not help me as much as those guys out there, I'll tell you. Yeah, very cool. Thank you for showing us that one, Super Juice Jason. You've got a graphic here because we have Sharks Pride Night tickets that they will be selling out. Now, this is for this Saturday, March 18th, 7:30. This is against the New York Islanders. So this is the game that Aaron and Super Juice Jason, I'm already drinking, will be there, as well as Kevin Kurz if you try to find him up in the press box. But then, so with the tickets, you get the pregame reception, you get the special edition Sharks Pride hat, and you get a post-game group photo on the ice and that's only for the first 100 ticket holders. So you want to get these tickets fast as soon as you can if you'd like to get out there for that group photo at the end. Now, Aaron, we're I don't know if we're in this photo or not, but we were certainly in one of these. And I mean, you really have to squint, but we're there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that picture. I'm sure super producer Jason has the bigger shot of it. In fact, I think I posted on Instagram when we were there a selfie of us on the ice right before we took that giant picture. So you can scour our Instagram page and find that. But yeah, I will be there. Super producer Jason will be there. We're going to buy our tickets tonight. So follow the link down in the description below, and that'll take you right to it. And hopefully we'll see you there.
Noah Claxton says Paul would take one of those guys playing over Noah Gregor. No, that's rude. He's not. I mean, maybe, but no. Yeah. Why Mike says Coach would end up yelling at SJ Sharkey official because some silly calls him out. Hey, wouldn't that have been great? Because you see Sharkey out there, he was the one dropping the puck, but then after that, it was just the regular refs. But how cool would that have been to have Sharkey right at the end, make some bad call, and Coach Quinn goes off on him, and Sharkey ejects him, and that's basically how Quinn gets to get off the ice just a few minutes before the game ends. He can go right. That would have been a really cool moment.
That would have been awesome. I don't Sharky, to me, he could totally ref a game because you can have one of those whistles that you just hit a button. You don't need to like blow it, right? And then all the hand signals for the referee is all hand signals. You don't have to talk once. So he could have ref that game. I'm disappointed. Oh well.
Okay, Aaron, why don't you finish off this with Pride Night? There's a little bit more information here. Just go ahead and let the people know.
Sure. The tickets, the upper level is $54. The low level is $97. And you can follow Silicon Valley Pride on Instagram at SV Pride. You can go find them there. A portion of the tickets are going to go towards SV Pride. They're a nonprofit volunteer-run organization. So there you go. You're helping out people, helping out an organization. They do really good things, a lot of great events. Super producer Jason does a lot with them. And I'm very happy to be involved with them too. So it's a lot of fun. They're a big group and a lot of fun people. In fact, they were there we went to that viewing party, I believe, at the brewery.
Yeah, at the
27.
Yes.
27?
Yeah.
I'm blanking on the name. Anyway, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Very good. Peter St. John says, I knew it. Paul hating on poor Noah. First of all, okay, it's not poor Noah. All right. He's had his chances. He's not bearing it. That's on him. Okay. So I want to hear that. And I'm not hating on the guy. I know what he is, and I like to play and have a little bit of fun. If I didn't have certain things that I poked fun at on this show, what would we do? We just sit here and mope? Come on.
Talk about your dad shoes. That's what we talk about.
Okay. My dad's shoes are actually very comfortable. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Isn't that
I really just want the hat. Oh, for the Pride Night? Well, I'll tell you what. How about this? If you're not able to go to the Silicon Valley Pride Night and get the hat, you can go to thefinfactor.com, pick up one of these hats. You'll be supporting the show and get something back in return. Or if you want to support the show and you don't care about getting anything back, you could do exactly what Lundy did. You can go through Super Chat and support us that way. Or you can go to Venmo at the Fin Factor and you can do a comment on either one of those, and we'll go ahead and read them out at the show here. And looks like Fin Factor is posting that Sharky dropped the puck, then entertained the fans for a bit. Oh, there you go. Yeah, the real refs were there for the guy. Absolutely, he was just there for the fun of it. I think that was a really cool event. So kind of sad we didn't get to know about that one. It might have been fun to go watch a beer league game with Sharky reffing for just a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, certainly there's a way for you guys to support the show. Appreciate that. Kellen does want to know, do y'all have a Pride hat? I don't think we have a Pride hat. Did they have Pride hats when we went to the game, Aaron?
Did we get a scarf?
I think we got a scarf.
Yeah, I think last time was a scarf.
I feel like it was a scarf. So if scarves aren't your thing and hats are, definitely, again, Saturday, March 18th, give them a look. It's a nice hat. So, and it'll be a fun event.
Oh.
It always is.
There you go. Super producer Jason just posted this. The Sharks Pride hats are generally available on shop.nhl.com.
There you go.
Very cool.
Okay.
Oh, there's a very long link.
That's a very long link.
That worked. Also, on a side note, tomorrow is super producer Jason's birthday.
Oh,
so give him a little happy birthday shout out. a little early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. All right. Yeah, you guys throw some birthday cakes or something like that in the chat. I don't know. But
Hey, Noah wants to buy your dad shoes.
I'd buy Fin Factor dad shoes. No. They're mine. They're mine. Yeah, there's the toaster. Very nice. Does Fin Factor make a Pride hat? No, we do not make a Pride hat. Actually, Super Producer Jason, that might be something we could look into. So
pretty cool.
There you go. We'll certainly, if we could do that, we will add that to the store.
It'd be cool to keep the teal brim and then change the rainbow or the Fin Factor logo to a rainbow logo.
Yeah,
I'm
sure we can do something like that. Peter St. John saying happy birthday. Oh, here they come. They're all coming in now. Peter St. John, Noah Claxton, Ben and Guns, everybody saying happy birthday, happy early birthday. Nick HPK, everybody saying happy birthday. Yeah, absolutely, man. We appreciate all the work Super Producer Jason does. Yeah, obviously a very, very happy birthday to him. And Marty McFly, Fin Factor Crocs, please. Oh man, you know what they say about Crocs? The holes, that's where your dignity leaks out. Anyway, any other comments here, Aaron?
No.
It's Aaron's birthday.
Oh yeah, my birthday's on Wednesday.
After.
Yeah.
Is that really?
Yeah, my brother and I are 1 day apart. 2 years, 2 years and 1 day apart.
Should have a shirt with Noah Gregor on it and a big X and signed by Paul. I think what I would do if I had a Noah Gregor shirt, I would have a picture of the net and then put like dots all around the net, but never in it, is what I would do.
I think your birthday's in November. I should have bought you a jersey. Noah Gregor jersey.
Oh, I would have plucked the name and number off of that so fast. You have no idea. Marty McFly says he's dead. I love it. Getting old, AA Ron. Yeah, aren't we all? All right. Aaron, I think that does it for tonight's show. That was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much. Again, I appreciate all the comments you guys popping in here, especially when you guys share us and retweet us and get us out to everybody else. We had Grandizer, I think it was. He showed up late because he didn't get the notification. Guys, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. You won't have to miss out on this, okay? And certainly, if you've got other friends and family that might enjoy us, we'd love for you to share us out to them as well. So I think that does it for the show tonight. Aaron, any last second thing here? Any last comment you just want to throw out there? Nothing?
No, I think Peter St. John's onto something. I think Noah needs his own Super Producer Jason segment. I agree. It'll be hard to miss.
No, it's easy to miss is the problem. I'm here all night, folks. I'm here all night. Marty, thank you for hanging. I appreciate you, buddy. Okay, I think that's going to do it. Again, thank you guys. In a horrible season, we do appreciate how much fun we're having with you guys. It's a lot of fun for me still, so we'll keep doing it until it's no longer fun.
We try to make it fun.
Absolutely.
It's
and
hard when they suck.
For Super Producer Jason, I'm Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
And we will see you guys
next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We just stunk.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, check out our other content, especially interviews. You can interact with us directly through social media at The Fin Factor and on Instagram at Fin Factor. And don't forget to join our live streams on YouTube.
Visit our website at thefinfactor.com, where you'll find all of our episodes as videos or podcasts. You'll also find our exclusive merchandise to help support our show.